Hello the cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days. How Liverpool will replace Jurgen Klopp, and who could be next manager. Liverpool's unenviable search for Jurgen Klopp's replacement is still in its infancy, but there has been no shortage of potential successors touted both publicly and privately. Bayer Leverkusen's Xabi Alonso, a former Reds midfielder, continues to lead the bookmakers' odds, followed by Brighton's Roberto De Zerbi and Sporting's Ruben Amorim. However, as they did with the appointment of Klopp in 2015, the club will take a scientific approach and not just go for the man who appears to be the best fit. Here, the PA news agency looks at how Liverpool will go about their search. Where do they start? Where Fenway Sports Group always start, with the data. Since buying the club in 2010, the American owners have instigated an analytical model for many aspects of the business, most notably in relation to their transfer policy, which they modeled on a system pioneered by their Boston Red Sox baseball team. The way we operate as a football club is to ensure that we've looked at all the information, all the data. We've done our proper due diligence and then we'll make a decision, said Chief Executive Billy Hogan. How will that work? Will Spearman, a Harvard PhD graduate in particle physics, was last year appointed successor to departing Director of Research Ian Gordon, a key figure in the data department since 2012, and will be significantly involved in identifying key areas which are not always immediately visible to casual observers of a manager's style and performance. Who else is involved? Mike Gordon, FSG president, is the group's main football guy, and the man who has been the transatlantic bridge between the two parties. It was he who received the bombshell phone call from Klopp saying he would be leaving at the end of the season. Gordon was the man who led the identification and pursuit of Klopp after Brendan Rodgers was sacked and will assume that key role for the ownership again. Theo Epstein, the former president of baseball operations for MLB team the Chicago Cubs and ex-general manager of the Red Sox, has joined FSG as a senior advisor and is likely to be involved in the consultation, as will Hogan to a lesser degree. And what of the main candidates? Alonso has been the favorite from the moment Klopp's departure was announced. The former Spain, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich midfielder has extensive, top-level playing experience and this season has displayed a key FSG metric in elevating underrated players to a higher level, having guided Leverkusen, unbeaten all season, to the top of the Bundesliga. His football is not as direct or as press-heavy as Klopp's, so there would be some adaptation required by the current squad. Brighton's De Zerbi has impressed since his arrival in England last season, and his place on the list is largely due to the similarities in his style with Klopp's. However, results have been up and down recently, having scored 4 in a victory over Tottenham yet lost 4-0 to Luton. Amorim Sporting, who also have a similar pressing style, are 2 points off the top of the Portuguese Primeira Liga with a match in hand, having dropped just 8 points all season. Dominik Szoboszlai in danger of missing Carabao Cup final due to injury, report. Liverpool could be without Dominik Szoboszlai for another 4 weeks because of a hamstring injury, reports in Hungary have claimed, potentially ruling him out of the Carabao Cup final. Szoboszlai sat out the first few matches of 2024 after tweaking his hamstring, but made a scoring return in last week's 4-1 win at home to Chelsea. However, he was dropped from Sunday's squad to face Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, with Jurgen Klopp revealing the midfielder had suffered a recurrence of the injury. Dom felt in the same area, or pretty much a similar area, to where he was injured before, Klopp said. Not in the game, against Chelsea, he was fine, and then after the game, he felt it, slightly, so we had a look at it and there was now no chance for him to be involved in this game. We cannot take any risk. We have to wait for further assessment, but it was clear that he cannot be involved today. That's it, pretty much. Though Liverpool have not yet confirmed the extent of Szoboszlai's injury, a report from his native Hungary suggests he could be on the treatment table for a while. Index claims Szoboszlai is set to miss 3 to 4 weeks of action, potentially ruling him out of the Carabao Cup final on February 25. If this timeframe is correct, Szoboszlai will also miss 3 Premier League matches, home games against Burnley and Luton Town plus a trip to Brentford. Liverpool are still waiting on the return of Mohamed Salah from a hamstring injury of his own picked up at the Africa Cup of Nations with Egypt, while Stefan Bajcetic and Kostas Tsimikas are nearing returns to fitness. Joel Matip is unlikely to play again this season after tearing his ACL. There has been more positive news for Liverpool on the injury front in recent weeks, however, with Thiago Alcantara making his first appearance of the season as a substitute in Sunday's loss at Arsenal. Andrew Robertson has also returned to the fold after a shoulder problem, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is fit once more. Mo Salah in late-night recovery work in bid to return for Liverpool vs Burnley. Mohamed Salah is currently sidelined with a hamstring injury, and he continues to post positive updates on his recovery as he, no doubt, pushes to be available for the weekend. Not long after his injury prognosis, the Egyptian's earliest possible return date was said to be the visit of Burnley on Saturday. Jurgen Klopp suggested that would not be the case when he spoke to the press prior to the Chelsea game, saying, "He's not ready for this game, versus Chelsea, not ready for the next game, against Arsenal, and then not." It has been a week since the manager's comments, and in that time we have seen Salah running at the AXA training center in addition to his exploits in the gym. And it was the latter he posted pictures of on Instagram late on Monday evening, with his recovery continuing in earnest both at home and at the training ground. Salah is a model professional, and there is no question he is doing all the little things to aid his comeback and return as soon as possible. Liverpool have seen Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz step up in his absence. They have combined for 11 goals and 7 assists since he left for AFCON, and the defeat at Arsenal was the first time Salah was hugely missed. Despite missing the last month of action, the 31-year-old is still joint top of the Premier League goal-scoring charts, 14, and has the joint third most assists, 8. Klopp will not be eager to rush Salah back prematurely, especially if Dominik Szoboszlai is to miss 4 weeks with a reoccurrence of his hamstring injury, as reported by a Hungarian outlet. If Burnley does come too soon, despite Salah's best efforts, his likely return date will then be the lunchtime trip to Brentford on February 17th. Hello the Cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days.